We've got a problem here.
What did you do?
Nothing, I stirred the tanks.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Apollo 13 came out to Space Center Houston 20 years ago, and we were a very young center. You know, we opened back in 1992. We got the call from Ron Howard that they wanted to come out here and participate with Space Center Houston to promote and produce the film. I mean, that was a huge opportunity.
We have a main bus being undervolt.
We have a lot of things that relate back to Apollo 13, including the scrubber that was actually built in Mission Control when they had to move into the lunar lander, and they had to use that basically as a lifeboat. It was only designed to support 2 people, so they had to modify it to support 3.
Those CO2 levels are going to be getting toxic.
Well, I suggest you gentlemen invent a way to put a square peg in a round hole.
They came up with what they kind of affectionately dubbed the mailbox, which is this invention that included duct tape and flight books and all kind of cobbled together to meet the needs of the crew.
We gotta find a way to make this fit into the hole for this, using nothing but that.
When Ron Howard was trying to put together this documentary, essentially, he wanted to recreate that environment of microgravity. And so he approached NASA and they started working together, and they agreed to fly the crew in the KC-135. And it flies a series of parabolas. So it goes out over the Gulf of Mexico, and it'll make a steep turn up, and then it kind of goes in this arc. And as it's going over the top, everything in the inside essentially gets thrown into the air, and everyone floats for 12 to 20 seconds. And everyone was excited about it except for Kevin Bacon, who eventually caved and said, okay, you know, he didn't want to be the only guy that didn't want to fly.
Here, Houston, we just went offline.
And they filmed inside, and Ron Howard was amazed at how much footage they were actually able to shoot inside.
We've got a computer restart.
I'm going to reconfigure the RCS.
We've got a
With these
pink
things
light.
firing doesn't make any sense.
We've got multiple caution and warning, Houston.
One of the beautiful things about Houston, Texas is that we are the home to the astronaut corps. We are home to Johnson Space Center. And that is really profound when you think about it. We have an organization that their sole purpose is to take people, take the best among us, and to put them into these spacecraft and launch them into space. I mean, it's incredible. And once they're up there, we do amazing research on board the International Space Station. We push the boundaries of human knowledge by going to the moon, by launching spacecraft that haven't yet been proven. Really, it's amazing, and it's a central part of what we try to do here at Space Center Houston, is take that profound story and relate it to the public.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
A lot of people say that Apollo 13 was NASA's most successful failure. We had astronauts on their way to the moon, heading nearly 300,000 miles out from our home planet, from their homes, their family, everything they knew, and we had this catastrophe. And we realized that it was the job of the people on the ground to get the astronauts back home safely, and that's effectively what we did.
Flight, they're all over the place. They keep going close to gimbal lock.
One at a time, people. One at a time.
The term failure is not an option. It's something that's really written across the mindset of flight controllers, even nowadays, in mission control, that once they're out there and they're in that void, it is our responsibility to get them back home safely and to accomplish the mission.
Houston, we got a pretty large bang there.
Something that could have gone horribly wrong ended up being a huge success for us as an agency. And 4 more times we actually landed human beings on the surface of the moon, collected samples, and learned quite a bit. What could have been a showstopper, NASA was able to recover and continue forward with the program and do great things.
Let's get that hatch button. The limb might have been hit by a meteor.
Yep.
We're taking people, we're sending them at tremendous speeds. In the case of Apollo, it was 25,000 miles an hour, sending them far away from home into lunar orbit, sending them to another celestial body. Even though it's something we've done, it's almost inconceivable that we could do it, but we did. And the fact that we accomplished that, it really is sort of a credit to humanity as a whole, that our species is innovative enough and ambitious enough to do these incredible things.
60 seconds. Lights on.
Wow, you know, that's the potential that we have.
The Eagle has landed.
When we put our mind to it, nothing is impossible.
This is Apollo Control, Houston, at 105 hours.